And so I don't know if they were anticipating what was going to happen to them. It's really difficult to lead creative people. I don't know the Maverick City folks, but like I left a comment when they posted the Beyonce thing.
I don't think he was sat down because of the consumer's problem with him listening to Bad Bunny.
Ruslan.
Maverick City, Dante Bowe. Super unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
Okay? Not unexpected.
Not
unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay? This is something that folks have known about for a while, behind the scenes. I think we are in an interesting time where folks who have historically kind of been able to keep their private life private now want to put their private life everywhere. And I've been guilty of this too. You know, and so now
what do you mean by that? Wait, what do you mean by you've been guilty of it too?
I've been guilty of having a drink and putting it on Instagram.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day.
Back in the day. We're in a time where for the first time, folks have immense access to everyone. And that access is not good for the creator, nor is it good for the people who are consuming the creation, right? The creative. This is it's not a helpful thing to have so much access to people and people having so much access to you. And I think it creates unnecessary tension for people. And I think Dante is someone that clearly struggles and clearly has some things that he's going through.
Do you think it's like access to excess? Like there's a spiritual maturity required when you kind of hit that level of fame in the Maverick City from a Dante Bowe? What would cause someone to stumble? How would someone know when they are actually ready for like excess?
How would someone know when they're ready for excess?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I think generally speaking, yes, access to excess is something that people don't know until they know. You don't know what you have access to and how much it can impact you until you're in a position where you have access to excess.
Yeah.
And I think most folks are thinking that your life is the same as someone else's life that's mega famous, right?
Gotcha.
So then you look at Justin Bieber, who by all measurable accounts has made clear professions in the God of the Bible, and that is what he's on. Mm-hmm. However, there's all kinds of problematic issues with Justin Bieber. He's selling weed. He's talking about bad bees and his peaches, getting his peaches from California, yada, yada, right? And so Justin Bieber has and lives a life that the vast majority have no concept about. They have no concept about. You will never know what it's like to live Justin Bieber's life.
Gotcha.
None of us will ever know what it's like to live Justin Bieber's life. So it's not to say that, oh, Justin Bieber is justified. No. Justin Bieber's called to live a holy life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's called to live a holy life, and that doesn't mean he has excuses. Mm-hmm. It just means you don't understand what it's like to be that guy, right? And you don't understand what it's like to have that type of pressure. You don't understand, right? And so what I'm saying is, like, if I make a video and I'm not the best representation of myself, like yesterday, with Marcus Rogers,
like yesterday,
right? Not the best representation of myself, not the best representation of a patient, godly character. Though I think I did okay. I don't think I did great. And we're gonna put the video out.
You caught your stride, I think.
I caught my stride later on, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna now imagine that, and then imagine me getting, I don't know, text and DMs throughout the night, right? And I'm in my 30s, married, stable, don't have any mental health issues,
Got two phones.
Got two phones, right? Building boundaries. That sort of stuff, it can irritate you. Like, it could annoy you, right?
Yeah.
It could annoy you. You can't even imagine, though, to be that guy when TMZ is running front page stories on you. When everything you do, right? Like, that's a different amount of pressure that I don't think most people can fathom, because most people only know their experience. It's not until you're around people or have been around people who have a little bit of fame and deal with these things that you go, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is different.
That makes
And it actually affects people, right or wrong. It affects people. It hurts people. And so that doesn't, again, that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
I know there's been a history there, right?
Yes.
I'm also not speaking on things that aren't publicly verified.
Yeah.
When we talk about what gossip is, that is the line to me. I'm not speaking on things that I know privately. I'm not speaking on what I know to be true. I'm not speaking on those things. But yes, there's all kinds of stuff that we're just not going to talk about because he hasn't talked about it and they haven't talked about it. Dante's statement, when I dreamed of all that I would achieve, that statement is telling. Dante mentioned nothing about God, calling, worship, etc. Yeah, sometimes, you know, people will communicate clearly what they were dreaming about. I wasn't like my vision in my dream with music or with YouTube is like, I really want to impact as many people as possible with the gospel. And then the real win for me is when I get DMs from pastor friends of mine saying, hey, someone watched your channel and you told them about my church in Atlanta and they showed up.
Wow.
Like, that's the win for me, right?
Yeah.
That's the stuff I dream about. That, like, out of the couple 100,000 or 1 million people, or however many people we could grace with this channel, that people get plugged into local churches and discover local ministries. And we're creating pathways and potential for folks to do that.
I noticed that one of the people in the video may have been one of the other members. Guys, I don't think
that's not why he sat down.
He was canceled.
That's not why he was sat down.
I don't think he was sat down because of the consumer's problem with him listening to Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't it. So imagine how petty that is. Like, there's other things, and it seems coincidental, but it's really not the reason he was sat down. So it's regardless of whether Aaron Moses or Dante Bowe were listening to Bad Bunny. There's other things behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the tough part, man, is like, whether it's speculating or speaking on stuff that's not public information, or whether it's speculating because of what God told you, like, none of it is helpful, in my opinion, because listen, these things, we're in a very unique time and space, right? We're in a very unique climate. We're in a very unique world that, I don't know, Charles Spurgeon, C.S. Lewis, they didn't grow up in. You know what I'm saying? And those dudes were going to pubs weekly and smoking cigars. And like, I could imagine like C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien and the Inklings getting together at a pub regularly. And if that was on Instagram.
That's hilarious that would happen, but it's also so cinematic. Think about these like legendary writers sitting in a pub, not a bar, a pub, so much more cinematic, smoking a cigar. They're like, they should make a movie about them as writers. That would be dope.
There was a movie made about C.S. Lewis's life. I gotta go back and watch. Yeah, and some folks would be like, "Yo, that's out of pocket. They're not saved."
Yeah,
or they're lukewarm, and I would just be like, "I don't think so."
So for people watching, like, let's say they want to be a creator, they want to make music, how do they know? Do you think there are telling factors, whether you can discern for yourself whether you are ready for excess or not? Like, maybe this isn't the season that I should pursue this dream.
Yeah, I mean, I was having this conversation with somebody today, like someone that is in a very peculiar place, and they have all kinds of record label offers, and they're doing really well, you know? And there's a degree of like, there's just like this cognitive dissonance in terms of like, I don't know if I can do X, Y, and Z. And so it's like they're almost shooting themselves in the foot with positioning themselves for the most optimal situation from a business standpoint in the music industry, right? He was like, I think there's a thing going on inside of me that I don't think I'm entitled or I should have nice things. So he's like trying to like seize the moment. And I'm like, no, you don't seize the moment. They're not giving you an opportunity. You got to this point because of hard work, because you were strategic, because you made good art. Yeah. And that's why you're here. You're not seizing the moment or getting an opportunity. You can recreate this. Here's what you need to do. You need to do X, Y, and Z to get a better situation so you're in control with these corporations. Yeah. That was the conversation. And he said, I guess I just don't know. I don't believe deep inside that I should have nice things. That's what he said. And I said, bro, it's not about the nice things. Like, the nice things can destroy you. Yeah. They can ruin you. Like getting nice things prematurely can destroy you.
So you're saying it's not about whether you believe you should have nice things or you shouldn't have nice things.
It's about being in a place where you know yourself, you know your weaknesses, you know how much time you shouldn't have on social media. You know how to lead a quiet life, because that's what the scriptures call us to in Thessalonians, right? Hey, make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, right? And so like even in me getting a second phone, right? It's like I'm creating boundaries and limiting access to me so that when I leave this studio, I am not inundated with Instagram DMs, Twitter, threads, and literally putting restrictions on my phone. Like it's gonna be like a child phone. You know what I'm saying? And this
the wise phone,
or young Don getting
with the knee.
I know, right? The knee. What is this? Why do creators do this? I think John McCrae was. This is such an uncomfortable.
They begin all cozy, son.
Yeah. A young Don like getting a flip phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got a flip phone. Respect. He has a flip phone. He got a flip phone, and he's like, yo, I don't want to be on social like that.
Yeah.
When I talk about the local church and I talk about how important it is, it's not because like, oh, you're not saved if you're not in church.
Yeah.
It's because the local church can create boundaries, systems for you, keep you accountable, keep you doing things that are regular, that a certain percentage of you guys are watching my channel, just statistically speaking, watching this stream right now, a certain percentage of you guys are going to go build your own things. You're going to build your own channels. You're going to go build your own platforms. You're going to go do things that are going to be awesome for God. And you're watching me now and you're inspired. Ruslan has a stream, yada, yada, yada. And I'm all for that. But like, our ambition is to go lead a quiet life. Our ambition is to not put ourselves on display. It's to amplify Jesus and put him on display.
Yeah.
Right? And so like, that's one of the perks of a local church. That's one of the perks of having a pastor. Let's do the super chat real quick. Matt said, we know something was up when Dante traded the black tee for designer lace and gender fluid fashion. I didn't know he was wearing gender fluid fashion. Go ahead.
Yeah, he do be kind of wearing that black lace stuff. And it kind of, I was saying this earlier, it kind of sucks that there are certain things that lead people to believe someone may not be living righteously, right? Or may not be fully in it, may not be in the best mindset for the position they're in because of what they wear, the answers in their interview, yada, yada, yada. And it sucks that it ends up being something where he does need to take a break. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, what is that? What's the line between taking cues and then but also being hands off and not assuming intention? And then the other question is like, should we just never be taking cues? Maybe we're just like, it's not my place to look at this man's black lace or be upset that he's listening to Lil Nas X. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a voice now, which is both good and bad. Everyone can speak on things, which is now good and bad. So if you see something from your creator, like, I'm not mad at you if you leave a comment and just be like, hey man, like this look kind of sus. You know what I mean? I don't know the Maverick City folks, but like I left a comment when they posted the Beyonce thing, you know? And I was just like, hey, like, I don't think the guy who did this mashup meant anything by it. I don't think this is intrinsically wrong. I don't feel like Beyonce has a monopoly on a specific chord progression that they happen to use and someone did a mashup on. I was just like, yo, but y'all kind of lacking self-awareness, considering her latest album, considering her saying, I use Bible papers as tampons, to then just let this rock on your Instagram. Like, that looks weird.
Yeah, it's,
you know
it's co-signing someone who is massively disrespecting one of your core beliefs.
Yes. And people would be like, well, Beyonce grew up a Christian, whatever. Listen, she has, but she's also said some really wild stuff. As a worship collective, is it wise and smart to post that? Probably not. Now, I don't know those guys, so I didn't like call them and try to check them on some big homie stuff, right? Like, but I left my comment. I said my piece, and people agreed with me. Some people disagree with me. The guy who actually posted that, me and him went back and forth, and I was like, bro, I don't think you did anything wrong per se. They just shouldn't have added that to their Instagram. Like, it's not a good look, right? And so, but I'm not gonna try to slide in that guy's DMs and hold him accountable like we're in a life group together.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they were anticipating what was going to happen to them, and it's really difficult to figure out how to lead creative people. It's like herding cats. Again, there's a very small percentage of folks that are creative and creative enough to be driven in a creative entrepreneurial sense. That is a very specific type of personality and avatar.
It's like a Nick D. Who's able to do that and then also lead a quiet life.
Yes.
And all like big numbers, big checks.
And stays in Culpeper, Virginia.
And relatively unaffected. Still thinks he needs to shoot product photography, photo shoots.
And do weddings. Yeah. Yeah. And but again,
which is like a very great like position to be in.
Yes.
You know?
And again, Nick D is a self-starter. He's in a small town and he's in a situation where he's older. Like I think he's in his 30s now.
It's 30s. Maybe it's even having kids.
Having a wife, having a routine, getting up, doing the same thing every day.
Kids will ground you for sure. I feel like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, just doing the same thing every day will ground you.
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. But also having something where you're like, I can't fall out of my, like, kids are the next level routine. Like, you have to have routine with kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like, even if you weren't a routine person beforehand, or maybe you were routine 3 out of the 7 days of the week. Yeah. Now you routine every single day. And so there's got to be something there.
This is another reason why some of the stuff kind of bugs me, right? Like the presuppositions around this stuff bugs me.
Yeah.
Guys, the most important thing that will determine who you become whether it is you being stuck in porn, whether it is you getting famous and potentially doing some sus stuff, is who you are in the daily decisions that you commit to every single day. It's in those things, right? And so
Yeah.
if you think that it's more about the music that's playing in the background, if you think it's more about the liquid death can of drink, it's more about the things that you do when no one is around, when no one is there to keep you accountable, when no one is there to take your phone, when no one is there to get your password. The things you do on a we underestimate how much the little things impact and compound, so that when you see a Dante and whatever it is that he's going through, fam, that wasn't a once off in the situation.
Yeah.
No one has a moral failure. No one commits adultery. No one. It's usually death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Right. And so what to me, when I hear some of these presuppositions, is that you guys think that like you can be living your jolly life onto Jesus and then have one misstep and get a demon. And I'm saying that's nonsense. That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
It's about the little small things that you do every single day in. And this is why go to the gym, become capable, become fit, lose weight so you feel better. This is why go to bed at a reasonable time. Do the same thing. Read your Bible. Get into a small group. Get into a local church. This is why these things are important. This is why these things are substantial.
If we could sum it up pretty easily, how would you define leading a quiet life? It's routine, right?
Yes.
It's wake up early.
It's
Go for a walk.
consistency. It's consistency when no one is looking.
Make dinner.
You know what I'm saying? And no
Read
one
your
is,
Bible.
And if those are not the things that are being promoted, and those are not the things that you're hearing, and it's consistent, if you do this, you can open yourself up to this. If you do this, you can, like, fam, like, that's just cool, man. Like, rock out, bro.
Yeah.
Rock out. Like, do you? You know, but if you're not, if the correlation between any single person that's not just successful on accident, because there are people that can be successful on accident. There are people that can preach a sermon, and because they're charismatic and good looking, you think they're anointed, right? There are people who start their first business and it's their 7-figure business. But the people that are consistently successful in any area, their walk with God, their marriage, their parenting, their business, their career, it's usually their fitness, their health.
Yeah.
How they, right? It's usually because they've committed to a routine that is anchored in discipline and consistently dying to the very things they want to do in the moment. And I just think it's trash that we jump out the window and say other things. And then when someone says, hey, that's actually not how it works, we then say, well, you're lukewarm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not lukewarm for anything I've actually done or consumed. Think about this for a second. Like flesh this out with me.
Okay.
I'm not lukewarm or a carnal Christian for anything I've actually done and consumed. I actually don't listen to secular music.
Yeah.
I'm not addicted to pornography. I'm not at the club. I'm not doing any of these things that you guys are so triggered by. I'm lukewarm for an idea. I'm lukewarm and I'm carnal for an idea.
Yeah. How dare you?
Think that through for a second.
Yes.
Right? Like it's like in politics when people go, oh, you're a woke liberal because you think we should reform health insurance and maybe have a single payer system, which, by the way, I'm not for or against. But they go, you're a woke snowflake liberal. And it's like, wait a minute. You're attacking someone and naming someone, labeling someone because of an idea they have.
Yeah. Not even something they did. They executed on.
And it said that Simeon blessed God.